Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDoc.com and I'm back with the HTC Rime from Verizon Wireless. Now this phone has received a lot of attention for apparently being marketed towards females or feminine people, though HTC isn't quite admitting that. But it is plum colored, as you can see, and it comes with several accessories in the box you don't get with a lot of other devices. High quality non-tangling earbuds, a media dock that can also act as a charging station, a charm that allows you to see if you have any incoming calls or missed calls, even if your phone is in your purse. So I've been testing it out. I'm going to do a full review for you guys and tell you how the Rime performs as a phone, and then also talk about those accessories, how I feel about them, how they fit into day-to-day life. Before we get on to the review, I have to say special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile. We thank them all the time because they send us free phones that we can add to our One Paw Bandit game, which is a game where you guys can win free phones. One of the great things about Best Buy Mobile is that when you buy a phone from them, you don't have to worry about rebates. You don't have to worry about sending it in, waiting 6 to 8 weeks. At Best Buy Mobile, the price on the tag is the price you pay. So thank you, Best Buy Mobile, for being so awesome. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's a review of the HTC Rime from Verizon Wireless. I'm Sydney from PhoneDoc.com. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we'll start off the review by talking about the Rime as a phone and just how does it perform as a smartphone, and then later on in the review we'll move on to some of the different aspects of the device that HTC is really targeting towards a specific type of person. But just to start off, as the Rime as just your average smartphone, how does it perform? So on the front here we have a 3.7-inch Super LCD display. It has a resolution of 480 by 800, and it's a very clear, a very bright display. Definitely very pleased with it. It's been very responsive. You can see I don't really have any problems with that. You can see that it does ship with HTC Sense UI on top of Android 2.3. So Android 2.3 is the operating system, and then the user experience, what you actually see while actually using the device, that is HTC's user interface called Sense. It has the latest version of both Android and HTC's UI, so it's HTC Sense version 3.5. And if you've seen other devices that ship with HTC Sense, you can see that this looks a little different. Now, I've heard a lot of people complain about it, how HTC just ruined the UI with the latest version of Sense, that it just looks terrible, that it's just, it's all bad. There's not actually a whole lot of changes. Most of the changes that you'll see are just on this front display here. Typically, HTC Sense, you'll see the big clock with weather, and then you can have your icons underneath that. But as you can see, they've changed it. So you have this widget that actually takes up the entire page that has the clock, the weather, and then these shortcuts to mail, calendar, and camera. And then you can tap these, and it'll show you sort of a condensed version of any items that you have within those categories. Really convenient. One of the things that I don't really like about this widget is that it takes up the entire page. So, whoops, even though there's blank spots, right here, I can't actually drag an icon or a widget to that. So you can see it'll just move it back. So even though there's blank spot, this widget actually takes up the entire screen, and you can't change that. Now, the fortunate thing is if you don't like that, it's okay. You can simply delete this. You don't have to use it. You can delete it and put whatever you want to put on this home screen. Also, if you happen to like HTC's old clock and weather widget, it's still there. So this is the clock and weather widget that you're used to. You can still install it. It'll show the weather and then whatever else you'd like to add. As you can see, it also comes with HTC's standard widgets. The nice thing about Sense, if you've never used it, it comes with a lot of features out of the box that most people would have to search through the app market and download, but a lot of those features come out of the box. So if we go to personalize, we'll take a look at just some of the widgets that HTC adds out of the box. Very beautiful too. One of the great things about Sense is that it looks great. So you have HTC Watch, which you can use to download and purchase movies, so that's nice. Different toggle buttons, airplane mode, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, different things like that. They also come with the device. Mail, several mail widgets. You can see there's different designs for that. People, you also have different calendar and agenda widgets, bookmarks, This is for any text messages, and there's a couple of different designs. Twitter, you also have Friend Stream, which will show you updates from all of your friends, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere else. There's Friend Stream. There's a really nice full-page weather widget, which you saw on one of my screens if you happen to see that. And then there's smaller versions of that. Here's some more toggle buttons for, you can easily put your phone, if I can get it to stop, put your phone on silent or on vibrate. So, you know, a lot of these features, they seem simple and you're like, well, I can get that in the app market. And you can, but if you're new to Android, these come out of the box and they look great, they work great. This is a news widget which syncs with your Google Reader account. So if you have one of those set up, you can easily just sync your account, add the widget, and everything's done. It'll show you latest updates from the websites that you're following. Clock widgets, so these are the typical clock widgets. So again, if you feel like HTC ruined Sense with the new version, they really didn't. All of those old features that everyone loves, they're still there and you can still get them. It's just a little different out of the box with what they've downloaded in the calendar widget. So nice features from HTC Sense. This is very convenient. I like it, but if you don't, it's okay. You can uninstall it or you can just simply delete it. Now the dock is also a little bit different. You have a single button to go to the app drawer. You can see all of your apps. And then you have a single button to go to your phone, to go to the dialer or to see all of your recent calls. So this is also different. If you've seen other HTC devices, this dock, it looks a little different. But again, you know, not a lot of functionality taken away. And then if we go to the notification bar, this will look a lot different from other Android devices. You have your notifications, but then you also have quick settings where you can turn off certain features. You'll notice here mobile hotspot. The phone can act as a mobile hotspot, a 3G mobile hotspot for up to 5 devices, I believe. So there's a quick look at HTC Sense. I think it's great. It's one of the most popular UIs out there, so if you're new to Android, you'll definitely like it. This is a 3G device. It's not a 4G device, so it's 3G. Uses Verizon's EVDO Revision A 3G network for data. So let's go to the web browser. Interesting picture. There's Aaron. And let's load up phonedog.com. Phone. That way I don't have to type it all out. And 3G speeds have been great. I'll show you guys my speed results in a minute. But if we go to the web browser, we'll also get to take a look at how the processor performs. Now the phone ships with a 1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. So it's a great processor. So take a look at this page. It's loaded up. Some of the flash content didn't load, but plugins are turned on. So you can see whenever I zoom in, very fast, very speedy, no lag at all. And this is just with the Android, or with the browser that comes with it out of the box. So, you know, some people say you can download better browsers from the Android app market, but even just what you get, if you don't want to worry about doing that, you can see it's very fast and very responsive with web browsing. So we'll go here. We'll load up this article, Your Thoughts on iPhone 4S. Now I have it connected to Wi-Fi right now, but you can see it renders the page well. We can zoom in. So web browsing is great, you know, and on a 3.7-inch display, that's large enough. You know, there's a lot of displays that are larger than that, but really 3.7 inches, that's enough to see the whole page. You don't have to zoom in a lot, not a lot of, you know, panning around. It's not too small for web browsing. So the 3.7-inch display is great. And then even if we zoom in as close as we can get, that super LCD display, it just looks great. Even zoomed in all the way, this text here is very, very clear, very little pixelation. So great web browsing experience, great display, the processor does great, and you'll be able to see that throughout the review. The processor is just very responsive. I've had a few hang-ups here and there, but really the processor has been great. So I'm going to go to the speed test app and we'll take a look at the results that I've gotten. Now I'm in the Dallas area of Texas, which is, you know, a large city and metropolitan area, and I've tested the phone out in different parts of the Dallas area. So I've tested it with a great connection, I've tested it with, you know, maybe just a couple of bars, and here are the results that I've gotten. So you can see 1.9, almost 2 megabits per second, 1.8, about 1.7, 1.4, again 1.8, and then you have these lows here of 258, 206. These two results, that's when I had minimal bars, just about 2 bars. So you can see as a signal goes down, obviously the speeds are also going to go down, but then it goes back up to about 1 megabit per second. So on average, I'm getting about 1.5 to almost 2 megabits per second. So for 3G, that's great. I've gotten great 3G speeds with it. It's unfortunate that I've gotten some lows, but of course, coverage, speeds, that's all going to depend on coverage in your area. But for me, it's been great. I haven't really had any problems with the data speeds. So also, let me go over to messaging, and I'll show you guys the messaging interface. We'll go and compose a new message. So this is the messaging interface. So if you've used any Android device, you're going to notice that this looks a lot different. This again is part of HTC's customization that they've done with Sense. So you have the 2-column, and then you can go to your contacts and easily add a contact. Here's a text box, and this keyboard is HTC's keyboard, and it's a great keyboard. Now, typing on a 3.7-inch display, for me, sometimes it felt a little bit too small, but for the most part, the typing experience was great. And then, of course, you can use it in landscape mode, and it's a much larger keyboard. So you get HTC's keyboard, and it's one of the best. If you ask anyone that's been using Android for a while, they'll tell you that HTC's keyboard is one of the best. So type out a message, and I'll probably have a million errors now that I said that it's a good keyboard. But a quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So there. For some reason I capitalized brown. I'm not sure why. But overall, it's a great keyboard. You do not get any other keyboards with this phone. You can see a couple of other nice features that HTC has added to their messaging interface. This is a very helpful feature. But anyway, this is the only keyboard that you get with the phone out of the box. You can download other keyboards from the Android market, just so you know. But really, I think you'll be very pleased with this keyboard. It's excellent. If you don't like that noise, you can turn it off. You can also have it vibrate whenever you push a key, or you can turn off that too. Then I capitalized F in Fox. Interesting. Anyway, but a great keyboard. Okay, so let's move over to the back of the phone, and we'll take a look at the battery. We'll talk about memory, different things like that. Now the phone ships with a 1500 milliamp hour battery. The disappointing thing is that you cannot remove this battery, which is kind of surprising. That's HTC doesn't do that with a lot of their phones, but with this one you cannot remove the battery. Battery life has been decent. It's an Android device. Android is not the most battery efficient operating system on the market, so you can get through a day if you use your battery wisely, depending on your usage habits. I've managed to get through a day with normal use, but you may want to carry a charger around with you. Battery life, performance, it's so subjective. It just depends on the way that you use your phone. But just know that Android, it has a tendency to drain the battery pretty quickly. So getting through a day, through a full work day or school day is possible, but you'll definitely have to charge it every night, and then you may want to carry a charger with you just to be safe. In terms of memory, the phone ships with an 8 gig card. The slot is right here. You just kind of pop it out. Anyway, ships with an 8 gig card, and then this slot supports up to 32 gigs of additional memory, so you can buy a 32 gig card and you get even more memory with that. The phone itself has 4 gigs of internal memory, so definitely good on the memory front. 4 gigs, that's pretty good, and then shipping with an 8 gig card, that's not something that you see in a lot of devices. So, and then the fact that it's expandable up to 32 gigs is also nice. And then of course, obviously you don't have to take out the battery in order to get to the slots, because the battery, you can't take it out at all. So again, kind of a nice feature there. But that's the battery and then memory.